Hello everyone, my name is Rylan Barton. I'm a senior in environmental science, and today I'm here to talk to you about the barrier in between, how scientific research can be misconstrued. So what is science communication? Science communication is the science, or the concept rather, of raising awareness of scientific topics and research with the intention of communicating with the general public. Now this concept is made up of four models. We have the knowledge deficit model, we have the lay expertise model, we have the contextual model, and we have the public engagement model. And each of these models have their own way of discussing science and conversing with the public about science based on the circumstances, but for this presentation I will be talking about the knowledge deficit model. So the knowledge deficit model is the assumption that the current public is lacking in knowledge or information on what is going on within science. And so this enables scientists to conduct a one-way interaction from scientists to the public on what is currently going on in science. But this is where the issue lies. Oftentimes there is a medium or barrier in which the one-way interaction has to pass through because most people don't usually read scientific articles or academic journals on their free time, so they rely on more digestible forms of media. So we have social media, public official or politician announcements, newspapers or journalists. And so we are now going to go back in time to the year of 2000 when President Clinton was doing an announcement on the success of the Human Genome Project.
It will revolutionize the diagnosis, prevention, and treatment of most, if not all, human diseases. In coming years, doctors increasingly will be able to cure diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, diabetes, and cancer by attacking their genetic roots.
He later went on to say that it is now conceivable that our children's children will only know cancer as a constellation of stars. Not quite, Mr. President. While the Human Genome Project was a success, it mapped the human genome. It laid the foundation for a lot of over-speculation or sensationalized promises as what was going to occur as a result of its success. And while this is not necessarily President Clinton's fault, we need to take into context what we knew about genetics during the year of 2000. It's not always about him in regards to what he's talking about, because he is not a scientific researcher, he wasn't involved in the project, yet he has access to a very wide audience. So when he says something that's not quite true, it can further dampen people's trust within the reputation of science. So now we are going to fast forward into the future in regards to the 2022 breakthrough of nuclear fusion to put ourselves within a more current context of understanding.
It's the first time it has ever been done in a laboratory, anywhere in the world. Simply put, this is one of the most impressive scientific feats of the 21st century.
So she's right. Nuclear fusion was achieved, but there's one caveat that I need to get into about the science in order to dissect her statement. While nuclear fusion was achieved, the technology that was used within the Lawrence Livermore laboratory was very specialized in order to make that reaction happen. So it would have to be scaled up massively for nuclear fusion to be a viable energy production process. And so her statement of this is one of the most impressive scientific feats of the 21st century is kind of stretching it out because it assumes we are right there to nuclear fusion. We are almost there. When we've been saying that since the 1980s, the common saying within the industry goes, no matter what year it is, nuclear fusion is always 30 years away. And so when it comes to this science, it's more about understanding what we currently have as of now versus what's going to happen in the future, because nuclear fusion is not predicted to happen as a viable production process until 50 years from now, if not even later. So what? So why am I talking about this? Well, we live in an era of a significant mistrust within science, largely as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we really need to watch what we say, especially with politicians and newspaper journalists, especially with these articles here, announcing grandiose things about science. Because oftentimes, again, when these expectations are not met from these from the speculation or promises, then this can result in politicians then enacting policies or budget cuts that hurt scientific research, ultimately slowing scientific progress. And so moving forward, I think we need to reframe what we think about science and what we expect of it. Because it's not always about taking giant leaps. It's more about taking consistent, tiny steps, to use Neil Armstrong's lingo there. And I think it's more about leading with looking at the outer edges of how we're chipping it away, the big revelations being looking at how far we've come versus how much we've chipped away that day. And so Sir Isaac Newton said it best, if I have seen further, is by standing on the shoulders of giants. So I think not only journalists and politicians have the responsibility for dimming their expectations on the announcements or expectations that they have of science, but rather we as the general public to read past the headline, read past the summary, and dig into the details, creating a two-way interaction in order to become a more scientifically informed public. Thank you.